Greetings, Nick with Sweetwater here, and today we're going to be taking a quick look and listen to the 5 members of the new Overdrive series of stomp boxes from Marshall. Said quintet of pedals are as follows: the 1959 Super Lead, the JCM800 Lead Series, the JCM900 High Gain Distortion, the DSL Dual Super Lead Distortion, and the JVM Distortion and Noise Gate. As you can see, all 5 live in a hefty, eye-catching golden black metal housing with 4 controls and a nice large on-off LED around the foot switch. The input and output jacks for your guitar reside on the front of the pedal, as does the input for an external 9-volt power supply, like the One Spot for example. These pedals can also be powered by a battery too, just so you're aware, as that isn't always the case nowadays. And by the way, they're also true bypass. In a nutshell, these pedals are refreshingly old school. There's no app or built-in IRs. They're simple plug-in and play devices. And as their names suggest, each one is inspired by a famous Marshall amp or series of amps from yesteryear. And just like the amps that inspired them, all these pedals play really well with other pedals, especially overdrives and distortions, as you're about to find out. So without further ado, let's quickly take a look and listen to each one in chronological order. To do this, I'm running into the clean channel of a Katana Generation 3 100 watt 1x12 combo. Here's what it sounds like with no pedal switched on. That's pretty flat, with just a smidgen of reverb. First up is the 1959 Super Lead pedal. In keeping with the legendary amp this pedal is inspired by, it has controls for both the high treble and normal channel sounds, meaning you can blend them if you like, just like on the original amp. The high treble has more gain and is brighter sounding than the much darker normal channel. The other 2 controls are for tone and volume. I think you know what those do. Let's listen to a few settings and sounds, shall we? Apologies to Mr. Trout, but you get the picture. This cleans up really nicely and it still has that spark in the upper end, that nice shimmery swirly thing. Like it. Next up is the JCM800 Lead Series, which is inspired by the iconic Marshall amps that literally dominated the 80s rock and metal scene. The 4 controls on this pedal are, going from left to right, gain, sensitivity, tone and volume. Gain, tone and volume are all no-brainers, but the sensitivity control might need a little explanation, so here goes. On the original JCM800 amps, you had 2 inputs to choose from, and they were labeled high and low sensitivity. In a nutshell, the high one was hotter, so you got more gain, while the low one was much cleaner, less gain. The sensitivity control on the pedal allows you to go from low to high and anywhere in between, and obviously works in conjunction with the gain control to give you the amount of dirt you're looking for. And according to my good pal Steve Smith at Marshall, when the sensitivity control is turned full up, it adds a smidgen more gain than the amp had too. Perfect for a metalhead like me. Like it. Enough talk. Here's a few sounds. Our next overdrive is the JCM800 high gain distortion, a pedal inspired by the Marshall JCM900 range that was launched back in 1990. The gain, tone and volume controls do exactly what you expect them to do. As for the one labeled contour, it allows you to fine-tune those all-important mid-frequencies to suit the amp you're driving with this pedal. Let's listen to a few riffs, shall we? The JCM900 series was replaced by the JCM2000s in 1997, and it brought back that all-important Marshall punch you in the chest that so many metal guitar players felt the JCM900 lacked. The first DSL amps were built in England and featured a deep switch which added extra resonance and low-end girth via the power section. In keeping with this, in addition to controls for gain, tone and volume, the DSL pedal boasts one labeled deep. And this control obviously allows you to dial in some extra low-end girth should your setup need some extra oomph in its nether regions. Let's check out a few sounds. Incidentally, if you're wondering why I just massacred one of the late great Gary Moore's motifs, it's because, just like the also much missed Jeff Beck, Gary Moore used a DSL 50 head for quite a while. Last but certainly not least, we come to the JVM Distortion and Noise Gate, which is inspired by the JVM series of amps that hit the streets with much critical acclaim in 2007. As you've probably already correctly assumed, of the 5 pedals in the range, this one offers the most gain. And to that end, the addition of a built-in adjustable noise gate is a fine thing, especially as it's a really, really effective gate. Just so you're aware, the Joe Satriani signature JVM head also housed noise gates as well. In addition to having loads more gain and a noise gate, the other thing that makes the JVM pedal different from its siblings is this: its controls run from right to left, not left to right. That idiosyncrasy pointed out, let's hear a few sounds. As you can hear, the gate works really, really well. It has to, because my playing is really sloppy. Nice one, Marshall. For my last playing example, here's the Skinny. I was fortunate enough to be working for Marshall at the time when the Joe Satriani signature amp was unleashed, and I would shamelessly abuse the following song at clinics, something I've been doing for years actually. So, using this and my trusty EVH wah, let's have at it. There you have it, the 5 members of the Marshall Overdrive series of pedals. A range of no-nonsense stomp boxes that each offer something unique in keeping with the 5 very different amps each one is inspired by. They're refreshingly simple, sturdy and fun to play. I enjoyed all of them, but if I had to pick just one, I'd probably go with the JVM. Not only because of its extra gain, but also its very effective and easy to use built-in noise gate. As always, for more information on these 5 fine pedals, or any other Marshall product for that matter, please go to sweetwater.com, or better still, call your always helpful and oh so friendly Sweetwater sales engineer. Thank you so very much for watching and listening. Bye bye.